Welcome to the No Name Brand podcast. My name is Sashka Hanna Rappl, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Hey, it's Sashka. Hello, and I'm doing another solo episode. Yay! And the crowd goes wild. So, today I want to be speaking about mastering your impact. Now, you're all very, very clever cookies out there listening to all of this, and you pretty much know what the elements for living a life of impact would include. And for those of you that perhaps don't know what this is or what it entails, it's also in my roadmap. And there are 4 pillars or elements or blocks or whatever you want to call them that I like to summarize for the impact that you'd like to make in the world. And those 4 elements are your mind work, investment, life, and business. Now, we all know with the mind work, this has got a lot to do with your inner child, your mindset, healing, inside, outside, the investment that you do with yourself, money mindset, your money hindrances that hold you back in investing in yourself and those around you, and life, enjoying it now in the present, looking forward to the future and enjoying the past and being thankful for the past, having free time, creating memories, and of course your business, how to build your business as a brand as opposed to just a business selling a product and making money. But in today's episode, I would love to talk about mastering your impact. Now, why master? Why would you want to master your impact, Sashka? Because, I feel that as creative visionaries and change makers, we tend to undervalue our mastery. Like we take for granted all the things that we can, because we can do so much. We've taught ourselves to grow up quicker than we were supposed to be grown up. We had more adult views or an old soul that kind of brought us through situations that, in inverted commas, other kids, normal kids, would not have, normal in inverted commas, would not quite have mastered the way we can. We're multi-talented, multi-passionate, and our range of impact is so wide, deep, and high. And it often leaves us blind to the impact that we're doing. And when we master our impact, we take time to acknowledge what we're actually doing, the impact that we're actually putting out into the world and influencing and implementing. Now, I love examples because instead of just hearing of the things of what you should be doing, should in inverted commas, the things that are out there to help you, to bring you further and help you with impact, I love hearing stories because it kind of gives you the idea, or it's an ideal, that it can be done, it has been done, and you follow suit. If someone does it, then I'm going to try it too, and you do your own version. And once you do your own version, it's like, oh my God, I'm just the bomb. This is freaking incredible. So I'm going to go through a few examples of myself. Now, I moved to London, United Kingdom, in 1995, and I had a lot of plans that never went as planned. Dun, dun, dun. And yet, I mastered that. In 1996, I moved to Austria, a country I didn't even think existed. I had never spoken the language, German. I had no idea about the culture and food. And I went in blindly with nothing but my dreams, hopes, and who I was at the time. And despite many days where I was lonely and misunderstood, I too mastered that. This year, however, I've taught myself, and it is this year after many years, I taught myself to master my impact with art. And art being acknowledging, reflecting, and thankfulness. This year has delivered me open doors that have made me feel very, very uncomfortable. And one of those doors was doing what I do, but in the German market with my newfound partner as well, which is such a blessing to also know that I'm not alone in all of this and that we can do it together. I taught myself to read, write, and speak German, and in Austria, all my education isn't recognized, as it wasn't resolved in Austria. It's a thing here that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what status you have. If you haven't studied and completed your studies in Austria, whether it be a nurse or a doctor or a marketer or a social worker, if it hasn't been absolved in Austria, your education is not recognized. And this often made me feel inferior to anyone and held me back for a very long time to do what I do within the German market. So I always kind of dipped my toe in with little things here and then. When it had success, then I'd be like, ooh, let me try this again. And let me try this. And then the doors would be closed and I'd get smacked on my fingers and I'd be like, oh, I'm not going that path again. No. And yet I found paths to get what I wanted, even if it wasn't the straight and narrow path. And it may have taken longer, but I did it. And this past week, my partner and I held our first German mastermind together. Our brand together is Sabrina and Sashka. And obviously there's also still brand Sashka. And I did everything in German. Like the whole week was just German. German. I was mentally and emotionally challenged. And every single day, I was like, oh my God. My mind work, it was on full speed, reciting negativity to me constantly. Like, the typical things. Who are you to do this? No one will believe you. You're an absolute loser. This is so pathetic. What are you doing? Total hogwash. No one's ever going to believe you. Austria only accepts certain education. You're not good enough. Ooh. And yet, I did it. I finished that week of soul brand marketing training with phenomenal attendees, all in German. And here too, I implemented art. Acknowledge who I am, what I've achieved, whom I've achieved this with, the support I had, the trials and errors I went through, the space to grow, the experience, and then reflect. Questions from the participants, they help me see new angles to my methodology in soul brand marketing and brand your soul. They challenged my status quo and helped me grow within myself and within that which I teach my life purpose. And then thankfulness for my transformation. Who I was a week ago, afraid of what may be, that can no longer show its face again. I've mastered the impact that I enacted, and I'm so thankful for it. I can see it all and the big picture and move forward with a full heart into the next phase. Making an impact as a creative visionary, it's tiring and it's hard. And we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform better than anyone else, to be better than anyone else. And yes, it's gotten us so far, but our spirits are so tired. And they need some art, acknowledgement, reflection, thankfulness. So as we slowly ease out of this incredible and storm-filled year or your challenging month or week or day, I would love for you to do the following exercise. And I'm sure you've done the first one, which is to remember why you started this all. And then take some time for art, acknowledging, reflecting, and thankfulness to see how it may not have been your why, the reason why you started this all, or maybe it was, but also how far you've come since then. The reason why I started my business wasn't to be where it is today. I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman. That's all I used to play when I was a kid. I never played with Barbies or anything. I changed my room up as if it were my apartment and my office and cut up magazines because I was a magazine owner. And I'd then walk to the kitchen, get my lunch, and then walk off to the car in the garage and pretend I was driving somewhere. I still to this day get such a thrill when this is so weird. I still get such a thrill when I turn on the indicator in the car and it makes that noise. I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a professional. I'm driving my car. That still gives me a thrill to this day after playing all those years. And it wasn't why I started. I started my business because I was too reserved, embarrassed, scared, apprehensive of going back to where I was working in corporate in Swarovski, because I was like, they're not going to accept me after having my children, and I'm not good enough and I'm not educated enough. Even though I studied further, long distance learning whilst in my maternity leave with my 3 children, I was still doing industrial and organizational psychology. And I was like, no, I'm just not good enough. They're not going to accept it. So I was like, well, maybe I should just do my own thing. And that's the reason I started my business. Out of fear of trying to prove myself to somebody else. And when I see how far I've come since then, man, it brings, I raised 3 kids. The eldest is turning 14, the youngest 10. The middle one has just turned 12, and I've written a book. Never ever thought in my life I'd write a book. I've been holding workshops and seminars in helping people find their life purpose and helping people take their name and their business from no name to brand authority, and how challenging their status quo on how things are done traditionally in marketing, and helping them see how building a business and building your brand is so much more than just your product or services. There's so much more involved, and it's not just business plans and business consultancy and finances or the financial consultancy that everyone understood under business consultancy. And building my team and actually having a team and moving into an office and creating this life that I want and not that was wanted for me. Just acknowledging that and reflecting on it and seeing how far I've come and being so thankful that I'm healthy, that my body is healthy, that I have healthy children and healthy surroundings and support. There's so much in that, and I've come so far. And it's so important for creative visionaries to understand, acknowledge, reflect, and be thankful for the impact that's not only been done within your own life, but the impact that's been in your surroundings and with people that you've worked with. Because you're phenomenal. What you've achieved is much more than most do in their lifetimes. And it's so important. I really, really need you to know not to be hard on yourself for things that may not have been or have evolved or achieved. I need you to lift your chin up and look up and see all you have achieved instead of. See that you can never be better than anyone, only further than. Living a life of impact is a choice, a daily one. Mastering it, though, it requires some art, acknowledgement, reflection, thankfulness. Because as leaders, I know we go a lonely path. We take risks that others would be too afraid to take. We take leaps that others would take years to create bridges for. And many leaders tend to go the road alone because they're misunderstood, always trying to be bigger, better, faster, in competition with themselves. Today, I need you to hear that as a creative visionary leader myself, the road is lonely. Yeah, it is. But it's a choice to go that path alone or with your tribe. It's a choice to elect leaders to surround you and support you. And listen, if you choose unwisely, so what? Get over it. Choose someone new until it sticks. Grow in your trust. And whilst you're doing that, you'll see yet again the impact you're making in this world. Simply by you being the better, positive, optimistic change that you want to see in the world. The best kind of change there is in this world. And by acknowledging, reflecting, and thanking yourself, you're mastering your impact rather than let it slip through your fingers as if it were nothing special. So, in closing, I encourage you to leave me a message or a comment to this episode and let me know how you master your impact. And more importantly, letting me know what impact you've done over the past few months so you and your impact can be uplifted and recognized as the phenomenal leader that you are. And your affirmation for today: I am phenomenal. So much love to you. And remember to be the change that you want to see in this world, and do it fast and furious. I love you all, and I'll see you again next week. Love you lots. Bye. Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.